So good morning, everyone. I'm pleased that you could join us here this morning for another exciting development on our Creekwalk. As many of you know and joined me a couple of years ago, the Creekwalk has been something that we have been incredibly excited about and has been utilized by thousands of Central New Yorkers and continues to just be one of our newest and brightest assets. And you can come down here anytime, day or night, particularly as the weather is getting better, and see people with carriages, with rollerblades, with bikes, with walkers, with dogs, with runners, getting out and enjoying our environment. But one of the things that you've heard me talk about repeatedly is that it's just not our physical environment that makes us such a great place to live, but it's also our historical and built environment. And the Creekwalk really represented an opportunity for us to bring that all together and to talk about our history, our physical assets and buildings, the history of our community and how we developed as an economy in a city from this asset. And so we were able to do that as with so much of what we do through innovative partnerships with the Onondaga Historical Association, also with our partners from Syracuse University and tapping into the creativity of their students and their ideas. And so we are here to unveil these Creekwalk signs, which are a blend of history and a blend of our physical and natural beauty, and also our interactive as well. So we were able to bring our newest park asset into the 21st century. So in order to talk about some of the distinctive parts of this, I'd now like to turn it over to the Executive Director of the Onondaga Historical Association, who is always filled with innovative ideas about how to bring history into our life. So with that, Greg?
Thank you very much, Mayor. I want to start by thanking you for all the work that you've done on Creekwalk, particularly. I'm sure that this is one of many great legacies that will be left from your administration, but particularly I'd like to thank you for the interest that you continually have in understanding how historic perspective does add value and makes everything more interesting. It adds depth and substance and meaning, and that's basically what we've tried to do with this project here with the Creekwalk. The signage project, I particularly want to thank your office, the Mayor's office, Andy Maxwell, Rebecca Klausner, who did so much work on these, particularly also Dennis Connors, our Curator of History, who chose the sites, who also scripted the films and provided the text, as well as the images for these signs. I want to thank the Central New York Community Foundation, who funded an additional project of the signage, which is interactive, QR codes, which you can scan and leads you to a website of short films of each of these signs. I want to thank Many Hats Media, particularly John Craddock, for producing the films for us, and Steve Van Dijk of Rounded Company for creating the website. And so without further ado, Syracuse University was also a large component of this project. The students did a lot of the graphic arts for it, and so I'd like to now introduce two of the professors who worked with the students and with the other parties on the project, Professors Paget and Martinez.
Thank you very much for bringing us into this project. Our class is a working design studio for a semester. We take on nonprofits and corporations and institutions. And it was our pleasure to take on the Creekwalk, which runs right outside our window at the warehouse. And that the students, there was about 30 of them, worked on, Rod said 2,000 ideas. The one or two or three are being done now. And it's really, I have a lot of pride in their work. They work very hard. Rod?
The one thing I like to mention to our students, aside from technically what we did for the Creekwalk, because we do this every year with a different organization, students work on things, at least in our major, for their portfolios, and they're trying to get gainful employment through that. And we take on a not-for-profit, and we actually have the students work as a design firm. When they're done with this, somebody can use their ideas. And that piece actually goes in that student's portfolio as well. And I like to make every student realize that although they may have several pieces in their portfolio from different projects that they worked on, that this is the first piece in what I call their civic portfolio. So by realizing that we not just do work for clients and the agencies that we work for, but that we can step out of our comfort zones at some point and do work for others, I think that's really important, and I think that the students really gravitate towards that. So I like to take that away with this experience. And thank you for it.
So with that, I want to get to the reason we are all here, to unveil this terrific evidence of the creative partnership between the city, the Onondaga Historical Association, Syracuse University, and the students that will be the beneficiary, will benefit the people of our community who use this in so many different ways. All right, with that, I'd be happy to take any questions that anyone has.
How many signs are going to go up in this area?
I knew you were going to ask that as soon as...
12 altogether.
I knew it wouldn't be 15.
That would be a bad thing.
Yeah, 12 signs.
That's our lucky
But as you can see, you have as Greg talked about, you have the QR code, which will then just open up a wealth of information as well. And now that smartphones are omnipresent in all of our lives, this is, again, just another way to bring history in our environment and bring meaning to as people walk along this creek, to not just get exercise and see one of our beautiful physical assets, but talk about our history as well. All right, thank you all very much. Have a good day.